One day a little girl went to see her father. She was very upset. She said, "Father, my teacher gave me this homework. I cannot do it because my brain is not ready yet." That is one of the wisest things ever said about education. Because when the brain is ready, the child will be able to do it. But children develop differently, like everything else. Not everything happens at the same time. For example, when Albert Einstein was 5 years old, he cannot speak yet. So everybody thought he's not very smart. And his primary school teacher said, if you can become a primary school teacher when you grow up, consider yourself lucky. Of course, we know that Albert Einstein grew up to be one of the greatest scientists ever known, right? He won the Nobel Prize. And so we have to delay our judgment. Don't criticize our children too early. If we give them time, if we're patient, they will become smart eventually. What parents must not do is to make their children stupid. I'm serious about this. A mother brought a 5-year-old daughter to enroll in the kindergarten. And the principal of the kindergarten said, we have to give her a test first before we can accept her. So they give her a test, and then at the end of the test, the principal said to the mother, your child is not very smart, we cannot enroll her in K3, kindergarten 3. We can only accept her in K1. Now, K1 is where the 3-year-old and the 4-year-old was enrolled. But she's 5-year-old. During the dinner time, the little girl overheard the mother telling the father. She said that I tried to enroll our daughter in K3, but the principal said, no, we cannot because our daughter is not smart enough to go to K3. She has to stay in K1 and then K2 and then K3. Now in K1, she is the biggest child in the class, and then the same with K2 and K1. When she gets to primary 1 eventually, she is 8 years old and the rest of the friends are about 6 years old. She feels a bit awkward, and sometimes the other children make fun of her, and the teachers also do not treat her with the same kind of respect that they give to the other smaller students. And this continues until she reaches high school. In high school, she's the biggest student there, and she feels awkward again, and she feels not very clever. So now she starts to realize she is not smart, right? And then for the rest of her life, she feels she is not very smart. So this is how children can start to believe they are not smart, they are stupid, in fact. When Helen Keller was 18 months old, she felt very, very ill. And that sickness caused her to be both dumb, she cannot speak, and she cannot see. She was blind. That made her very frustrated, and she became a very difficult child. And she threw a lot of tantrums, a lot. But luckily, her parents hired a nanny. Her name is Anne Sullivan. And through the guidance of Anne Sullivan, through her patience and her love and her care, eventually Helen Keller became a very successful woman. She wrote 5 books, and she traveled all around the world, motivating people, especially people with visually handicapped people. And now we have, of course, Helen Keller Foundation. Without Anne Sullivan, without her care and her loving, she probably will be a different kind of person. Right? So sometimes we need other people to make us smart. Before we can make our children smart, parent and teacher have to be smart first. So what is the characteristic of smart parents and smart teacher? Number 1 is they must trust their children. They must believe in their hearts that children are born to be successful, not to fail. One of the characteristics of smart parent and smart teacher, they are very, very patient. They just never give up. Number 3 is they love the children so much, so they're willing to do anything to help the children to become smarter and smarter. And of course, love is work. So for parents, we have to help our children to help them with their homework, We have to be interested in what they do, especially in school. and we have to participate. If there is a school activity, we have to participate. Don't just leave teaching and learning to the teachers. Many parents, in order to make the children smart, they believe they have to make them study, and nothing else. One thing is true. The children actually hate to study, but they love to learn. So give them the environment, a home environment where they can learn. Give them opportunity. Buy them books, buy them things, so that they can naturally learn to read by themselves. And children love parents to read for them at night. So that is how they learn about communication, they learn about language and so on, by learning from the parents. And the other thing that makes children smart is, of course, play. To make our children smart, let them play. Don't make them study too much all the time. Music also makes them smart. I'm saying this because this is not just what I think. This is what research shows, that by allowing children to play and allowing children to play music, it actually make their brains better. Because remember what I said earlier, we have and our children have two brains, left side and right side. The left side is the technical brain, the logical brain, where we learn mathematics, language, and science and the thing like that. But the right brain is kind of a more fun thing. It learn how to imagine things, and it learn how to understand music and games. So by allowing our children to play as well as to study, we help them to use both sides of the brain, and that make them smarter. In conclusion, I think we must not be too stressful if our children are not as smart as any other children. Just remember that all children are gifted. It's just that some children open their present a lot earlier than others. So be patient. Don't be stressful. Eventually, your children will become smart if you give them the opportunity to do so. Thank you very much.